Douglas. I'm Douglas, and this is Maria Augusta. Maria Augusta is Ecuadorian. I'm British, also happen to be Ecuadorian, but that's a long story. We became members of Latin Link in 1995, so that makes us 30 years members of Latin Link. We spent the first pretty much 18-20 years in Ecuador, which in the city of Quito mostly. I was involved in media ministries, mostly television, engineering type work, engineer by background, and as is Maria, as it happens, and we actually met in Ecuador, both of us being involved in radio transmission, Christian radio transmission ministry. And met Maria, who was in Ecuador with me, of course, for over 20 years, and involved in focusing mostly on children's at-risk ministries. And now we're in Spain. That happened about 10 years ago. We moved from Ecuador when our kids finished high school. I was invited to work in a media ministry project in Madrid, and Maria wanted to do some further studies, so she went to Belfast Bible School off and on for that year to do her studies, and we started ministry in Spain. Some of it's been the media ministry with TV, but more recently we've been focusing on community ministries to evangelical presence in the community, because we have now moved to a location where there's actually no evangelical church present at all, which is not at all uncommon in Spain. There are a good number of Christians, but a huge amount in the country where there's no evangelical presence, and we are now in that neighbourhood seeking ways to serve and be light in the darkness. On top of the things we've already mentioned, I'm actually the Latin Link team leader for the team of Latin Link missionary members in Spain. We've got several, and several more in the pipeline. Many of them are from Latin America. I won't go naming all individuals, but my job as team leader is to fix up the assignments, accompany the members that are in Spain on the assignments, and aid them in every way that we can to be more productive and find ways to do their ministry in the most effective way. And it's been great, and we have a lovely time every conference, every year. We get together, fellowship, and we meet on Zoom quite frequently, and there's business things to deal with, and on top of that, I'm participating in what is Latin Link International, representing Spain when there's international events, or whether there's Zoom meetings and things like that. We have plenty of opportunity to contribute to what is the whole wider Latin Link fellowship.
Yes, well, while in Ecuador, I was working with vulnerable children at risk, and I was also teaching them about the Bible and stories about Jesus, stories about the Old Testament, and altogether there were 140 children in that project, Remar project, and I think it's well known in Latin America and in Europe even. And over the years, when we left Ecuador, one of the girls, who were about 8 or 9, contacted me on Facebook, and she said to me that she was a pastor. She was pastoring a church, and she mentions what an impact it was in her life, all the stories that I was telling her about Jesus and God's love. And to me it was a huge thing, because I had put such a lot of emphasis, such a lot of time, such a lot of effort into teaching all this vulnerable teaching about a God who was a loving God, a loving Father, because many of them lacked the Father's love and were just very vulnerable. So it was such an impact in my life, and also an impact in her life. And now she's leading a church. She's a pastor in a church, and she does evangelism, and she posts her preachings on Facebook. And I think it is absolutely amazing how the Lord touched her life and the life of many other children while I was there in Quito, in Ecuador. And now we are in Spain, and I'm still working with children, and also with immigrants. There's plenty of immigrants coming from, mainly from Latin America. We provide pastoral care, we provide support for them because it's very difficult to start anew in a different continent. And also helping with the Ukrainians and Russians that come fleeing the war at the moment in the UK, in Russia. So praise the Lord for the opportunities He has given me to be able to be the salt and the light in difficult circumstances and in different continents. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, Maria's shared a little bit about the contribution that we've been making to the Spanish recently founded church in a nearby town about 15 kilometers away from where we actually live. But also, not just that work with Latin American and other immigrants, we are involved in our own community. Our community is the sort of neighbourhood where you find a lot of English speakers and European folks with second homes. It's a large community, and there's actually no evangelical presence. There are several Roman Catholic Spanish-speaking churches, but there's actually, in our diameter of our neighbourhood, but the city boundaries, there's no evangelical presence. So when we moved, we made a commitment to try and see how God could change that. We were brought together with another person who was a semi-retired Baptist minister, a lady from Stevenage, and we are, ever since we moved there, from our first assignments in Spain, which were in Madrid and then in Malaga, we are now in the neighbourhood south of Alicante. And we started to meet in a bar with whoever we could find. We put an announcement on the internet, and every Thursday in the morning we'd be meeting in the bar to have a time of Bible study or reflection on a topical subject. It depends who turns up. If somebody who's not a believer is there, we may switch the whole subject to deal with things that they're thinking about. We are involved in not just in the bar, which is now a regular thing, and it's now actually known in the community that the God Squad, so to speak, are meeting in this bar every Thursday at 11 a.m. We're also involved in different things in the community to be present, be involved in everything that we can find in the community that's active and meeting and making lots of new relationships. Like we've been involved in a protest group to try and encourage the council to comply with its services, and I'm involved in walking, or we're both involved in walking groups, and many other, every initiative that we can find that makes an impact in the community we're trying to be involved with, and we are seeing results. It's been slower than I hoped, but we are seeing results, and several lives have been touched and big changes found. Well, as we said, we've been members for 30 years. I'd say that during those 30 years we've sensed an accompaniment by Latin Link, a confirmation of calling through the membership. It's been an opportunity to serve others in the Latin Link community, and it's also been a way for our sending the people who have made it possible for us to be involved in the mission work in Latin Link, to feel there's a legitimacy about our ministry, but we're being accompanied, we're being, when things are tough, Latin Link have been there to help us navigate the way through. And when we've changed country, Latin Link's been part of that, and now I guess that as team leader I see others that are applying, and I can encourage and say that it's a good thing to have the involvement of Latin Link to be present and accompany you in the ministry. It's very difficult without that accompaniment.
Thank you so much for prayers. We so appreciate that, and I would really like prayers for me as I am stepping down from Latin Link. I need guidance, I need direction, so I would really appreciate if you could pray for that. Also, this church in Spain needs our prayers as it is growing in numbers, but it needs plenty of pastoral care and discipleship. New believers that are coming to the church, they do need discipleship, so please pray for that as well. And also, I would like you to pray for our family. We have family in Scotland, our daughter with her family and 2 children, and we have another daughter in Malaga. Please pray for them. And we also have family in Ecuador. So the situation in Ecuador is not an easy situation at the moment. So if you could pray for them. Thank you so much for praying. We so appreciate that.